Up, here we go. Hello, everyone. I'm back. Thanks for watching EDBW. It was very long. I worked on it for a long time, and I think it was pretty good. I liked it. I'm happy with it. If you have any questions about that show or whatever else, going into WRESMANIA or just whatever, ask them now. I'll probably show you the cause I've got, I guess, so you can see some of the guys I had but didn't use. If you got anything that you'd like to know, I could talk about some of the fucking million iterations this final season went through. While I load up 2K14 for one of the final times. Was Super Bubsy the last idea for the final plot? That's the best idea to start with. No, because the original version was just going to be, like, it was going to be some Game Shark shit with Cortana fighting Junko and Super Saiyan Saiyaman fighting Monokuma, partially because, like, I felt like Super Saiyan was the only way to up the power level, but I didn't like that because I didn't like that he was the one saving the fucking day, and I felt like it needed to be someone who'd been there forever. So I made it Bubsy instead. Let's see. I'm gonna load this up in a sec. Did I ever plan on giving it plot one day? Not originally. It just kind of got permission from when Toad took over that I could start doing plot now. And then I started doing it from there. I was actually, okay, this is the other fun thing I was going to talk about is I was very close to not coming back for a fourth season after Killscreen 3. And when I did, like when I started season 4, I had every intention of it being the final season. But then, I heard that Baza was leaving and figured, like, well, I can't quit at the same time he did. And then I also got plot, and it became a lot more fun to do. So we kept going for a while longer. Okay, I'm on the right place, right? I'm gonna open up this PS3 stream with Strong Bad Your Ideal Final Champion. When I first envisioned the tournament where I unified all the belts, the joke I made was, I'm gonna put all the belts together so at the end Bubsy can have all of them. So I guess he would have been the ideal final champion, but I liked that it was Strong Bad. Okay, here's my fucking game. Don't fucking be crazy about stats or anything, because I'm just gonna show them to you. And there's a few guys on here I didn't get a chance to use. Not all of them for, like, good reasons. This is my account number 1, which didn't have anyone who was ever, like, called up or anything. This is the first one, is Cole McGrath, who I liked because there was a gimmick Cran had where there was Cole and then there was Evil Cole, and then they were eventually revealed to be different people and they would fight, and I kind of liked that gimmick. So I downloaded him. I never used him. Professor Genki, obviously because he's out of alphabetical order, someone else was in this spot, and then I just downloaded him because I figured I wanted him. And I could have done like some Professor Genki hosts the show shit that would have been wacky and fun, and I didn't get to it, which is really the only reason for why I didn't use any of these guys. This guy, Mad World guy, I liked how he looked. He had a cool black and white aesthetic. I never got to him. Various guys. Jack. Oh, like ages ago, like an early EDBW, like right before SNST ended, Supernormal Step made calls of Jack and Dexter, and I kept saying I was going to fix them up and make them look better and then debut them as a tag team, and then I never did. So when the server shut down, I downloaded this Choco Jack, thinking maybe I'll eventually use him. Jim Raynor, same thing. I don't know why I like StarCraft characters as much as I do, I just kind of do. I didn't get to him. There's Johnny Tag, he's very big. There's a couple more guys. Musashi. At one point he was planning to debut like fairly early, because he was like, I had him on account 2 until I deleted him to make room. I don't know, I just kind of didn't get to him, which is weird, because I thought I would have used him. There's early Papyrus before I got to him. Old Professor Oak. A few guys. Oh yeah, you saw this in the fucking VGCW one, but here's Sans before I fixed him up. He looked better afterwards. I never used him on this account because I didn't want to do all that again. Yeah, that's all the newcomers here. This Raziel I was going to use as one of the trainers, but I fucked up and put him on the wrong account, so I didn't use him for that role, which I probably should have. If I downloaded him on the other one, he would have popped up at backstage a few times. And yeah, that's the end of all these guys. There's the Surge I made, because I didn't save Surge, but I needed him. And Lich King, which I had, and there's Gigakuma. There's a few more women that I didn't get to that I'll walk you through. Lynn, I liked her because I liked the idea of a Fire Emblem character who wasn't from Awakening. She didn't have a moveset, but I figured I'd make her one. I kind of wish I'd gotten to her. Here's one. Okay. Asahina from Danganronpa. Further down this list is Sakura, also from Danganronpa, and they were going to be a tag team, and they came very close to debuting, but then I pushed it back, and then I replaced tag teams with trios, and I couldn't think of a good trio to put the two of them in, so they just never debuted, which was a fucking shame. Captain Syrup, she was mostly to fill space towards the end. I should have done like a bunch of pirates at some point, but you know. A bunch of guys that I had. Shenko, I liked her. I thought she looked neat. I wish I downloaded her on the other account so I could have used her more easily. And that would have been cool. I had a fucking idea at one point for I thought it would be really funny to do like a fucking romance plot with her and the Lich King because they're both purple zombies. And I thought I could do some good comedy out of that. I didn't get to it. Oh, Isabel. Isabel came extremely close to debuting. The match that wound up being Jaina versus Mistral was almost Jaina versus Isabel. And then I thought about well, she's in BWA, and I don't really know the fucking etiquette for hiring someone after that show. So then I figured, well, I guess I don't need to hire her, because she's going to be somewhere else, and I went with Mistral instead. But she was very close to debuting. Kumatora, I kind of wish I'd been able to use her, but I think at a certain point, bringing her in would have muddied up the Lucas story a little bit. So I just didn't do it. Melina. Melina seemed like the obvious next choice as far as Mortal Kombat women went. I kind of would have liked to have used her. She would have been cool. That's my feeling on most of these people is, man, they would have been cool if I'd gotten to them. Patricia Wagon. Mostly to fill space. If I'd put her on the other account, maybe she could have been in Cops. That would have been the logical place for her. But again, she was employed elsewhere, so I didn't make her a priority. Oh, yeah, there's Sakura, the other half of the Danganronpa tag team. I really liked her because she's gigantic and jacked, and would have looked very different from everyone else in the show. But, things happened. I didn't get to her. Shanoa, I don't know. It seemed like I should have a Castlevania character, but, she's safe elsewhere. How many do I have? I have a lot of characters on this account that I didn't get to. Tostada, similar thing, just kind of neat. I think that's the end of it. There's Lifos, who I just saved because I wanted to save her. Because I like this call. How did we overlap this much? Because I never knew who you were getting, Belmont. I didn't really pay attention to it. I didn't think that much of it. And it didn't matter. I still was able to use enough people. And yeah, I don't think there's anyone else notable on the other account. So I'll fucking fade out from this shit for the final time. I'm going to turn off this game live on stream. For the last time, you just saw me end 2K14. And we're back over here. Any other questions? Because if there were questions during that, I probably didn't see them. Let me see. What else did I want to talk about? I talked about a couple of the big notes I wanted to get across. What's next for me? Fucking, I don't know. I might pop up again in something down the line, but probably not. Probably not anything like this. How long did I have Zack ready for a Big York match? I made Zack for Killscreen 6. I always knew that I could if I needed him, and it didn't take that long. Oh, the new Bubsy game, it's probably going to be bad, but I'm going to play it. I pre-ordered the fucking special edition. How does it feel to never have to be in 2K14 again? Bittersweet, I guess. Was Ellie versus Clem ever going to be a match? Yeah, I did it once. Well, I wasn't... There were ideas early on, after the first match they had, was I thought I wanted to do a rematch in the future. Oh, actually, shit. No, that's right. I forgot about this idea. Okay. Before I thought I should just put Ellie and Cerberus, I had the plan of, somewhere down the line, Ellie is going to form, a heel tag team with Naoto. And that was going to be her fucking return to the show, was as a heel with Ellie as a, oh, we hate you people thing. And Ellie was going to keep beating up newcomers, and Isabel was going to be one of them. And it was going to end with Ellie and Naoto versus Clem and Isabel as a tag team match, and that was going to be the run back. And I was going to call their team the Walking Dog. That was the big thing. Okay. Did I expect Undyne to make it from a poll opening to the grand finals? This is a great thing to talk about. Undyne was always going to be in that trios match. I put her in the fucking poll because I felt if I didn't, it would spoil it. And I was kind of nervous when she was winning. So it was really fucking fortunate that I was able to tie up that vote in the last second to get Sammy in there. That was the plan, was Black Tier Underground. And actually, how much did we... Toe, you didn't fuck up my plans with call-ups that much. WV did a little bit, because that kind of made it... I found out that Cosmos's call-up was imminent when I was already committed to the Cosmos Kerrigan match. So I figured, like, well, suddenly this match has only one outcome. So I kind of had to go with that. Let me see. Anyone I pushed for heel face initially, but Platter matches audience changed that. A fucking billion people. Shepard. I guess Morrigan, because I didn't really have a alignment in mind for her at the beginning. Fucking... God damn it, I wish I could think of more of them. Probably a bunch of them. Here, hold on. I'm going to open up a list of guys over here. Did I tie... Yeah, I tied that poll myself. I cast the vote that tied Sammy so that I could continue. Did I ever think of bringing Marie back? I did, for a little bit towards the end. I brought her back for that one match. And I put her in the poll just in case she would win. Okay, I'm going to quick look at my fucking list and see who else was reversed due to crowd reaction. I mean, yeah, I guess, like, Ellie is one of those cases. But that happens all the time. It's like, oh, people aren't liking this person, I'll turn them. Whatever. Are there any plans to bring Link out of rehab? I wish I had. Like, that's something I kind of wish I'd planned for, is using Link more. I definitely didn't do enough with him, I think, after I introduced Plot. That's just kind of a shame. The canonical fate of him, I assume he got clean, because everyone gets a happy ending at the end of the show. Bannon. Harkinian, there were never plans to bring him back. Bannon, I don't think I ever needed to. He was in that one Rumble. Although, oh shit, no, wait, there actually was. I had a plan at one point. This is something I had a plan for fucking forever, this idea I had. I wanted to do... Because I didn't show you account number 3, which has like a bunch of plot guys and comedy characters. I wanted to do a gimmick battle royal. I wanted to do a 10-man, like a 10-man Royal Rumble full of a bunch of joke characters, and Harkinian and Bannon would have been in that. But I didn't wind up doing it because I kind of forgot to do it early. And then, like, by the time I realized, like, oh, maybe I should do this, I already knew that the show was extremely long, and I didn't want to have to record more matches. Did I plan to end it after Bryn? No, I planned to end it before Bryn's announcement. Was there anyone I wanted to be champion who never got the gold? A few people. Like, you know, I would have liked for the Lich King to actually get his hands on the belt before the show ended. It would have been nice. I would have liked for Mila to win the women's title if there had been more time. Let me quick look down this list. Yeah, like going towards the end of that chamber, like there were a lot of good choices. Oh, you know what? You know who I really wish had been a big deal was Frank West. I was kind of bummed that he wasn't really able to put together a lot of momentum at any point. Because I always liked him, and I would have liked him to be a big deal. Who else on this list? Other than that, like, I don't know. If there had been, like, a longer season, there were people who I would have liked to see in the title picture. But, you know. Not all of them happened. Yeah, Max Payne did alright. Yeah, if Frank had won that contenders match, everything would have been different for him, but after that, he never really pieced it together. Any money matches I considered for the end, but didn't... That's a good question. Like, I had a few matches where I kind of changed at various points. Like, Reset versus Elise was at one point planned to be on, you know, the finale. But I bumped that up because it was too long and I wanted to tie it into the chamber. How many other big things did I not get to do? I'm not sure. Anyone super popular that you weren't super into? A fair amount of them, I would say. I think it's pretty clear in a lot of cases. You know, there's people I cut because I wasn't super into them, even though they were fairly over. Like, you know, Leona, who, in retrospect, I wish I'd just kept her just so it wouldn't have been a giant hassle. That was on me. I made some poor decisions in the early days of my show. She probably sort of stuck around. Like a fair amount of guys who got called up. Like, I never was a giant fan of Ryan, but, you know, he wound up leaving the show and going to VGCW, which was a better place for him. Show, I guess, similarly. Although I sort of pushed him. How did you feel when Bryn kept calling wrestlers up constantly? That was great. I love it. Call-ups were always good. I always loved call-ups. Like, people leaving was a good thing. Was I surprised by the King winning the poll? Not really. Part of me was kind of expecting Bubsy to do it because I figured people might think that was the only way to get him there, but not that surprised. The King of All Cosmos has always been a bit over. I liked him. Could Kratos have worked well? Kratos probably could have worked well in the plot, but given the reaction to Kratos at the time, I don't think that was something I could do. People hated Kratos towards the end of his title run. So like I had to get rid of him because people were mad. This was the stretch of time when, when the game would decide that someone is going to win all the time, and then people would start getting mad at me because they kept winning. So Kratos had to go when he did. It's also Kratos' title reign. I mean, it was long, and I wish he had dropped it to Strong Bad probably, but it was what it was. Someone I talked about that. Someone I liked as champion who other people didn't. I mean, I liked Sonya Blade. It's a shame that her title run wound up going the way it did. That was one of the earliest examples of, this is what happens when I let the game make all the decisions for itself, god damn it. That eventually led to me taking that control away from the game. It was a shame what happened to her. Oh yeah, when I was talking to people I didn't like, I should have brought up Mika. I never liked her that much, but that was public knowledge. Anybody I wish got called up? Let me quick look at this list again. Who would I have liked to see go up to the main roster? I think Jacket was one of the guys who I thought he was going to be called up. When I found out that the VGCW guys were getting him, and I was pretty convinced that it was going to happen because I know Cryptic was a fan of his. So I was kind of surprised when they didn't get to the guy. Other guys, I would have liked to see Joe move on, probably. I think he would have been a good fit. There's a few guys who I think I would have liked to see move up, but I understand they were probably better off staying here. King DDD would have been good. And there's a few WV call-ups who probably would be good. Okay. Oh, no, do I regret the Morrigan Sophitia Infinite? No. What I did with Morrigan Sophitia was the right decision. And I still defend that it was good. But if I had made the decisions, that match would not have happened. I did not want that to be the match or that to be the scenario, but I think I made the best of it. And I think doing what I did there was fucking crazy and shocking and cool, and also kind of set everyone up bigger for the babyface win at the very end, where Eddie beat Liquid. I do not regret doing that at all. It was rad. A lot of people got very upset about it. There was one more of these. Why did I put Strong Bad and Tron in the Purge matches? My problem with Tron is I never really liked how she looked, I guess. I never thought she looked great. I probably should have. In retrospect, I kind of wish I just hadn't brought her in. But, I wasn't super into her, and when it came time to pick 6 people to cut, she seemed like one of the 6. I put Strongbed in there because he'd been around since day 1 and had a million matches, and I figured, well, if he gets cut, I'll bring him back at some point. The blue butt was my fault, also, because I kept trying to fix up the caw, and at one point I made it look stupid. I'd like to... I enjoyed booking the combo meal. I wish I had not cut them. I wish I had kept the combo meal around, or I wish I'd brought back Pepsi Man or something. Yeah, I liked Tron Bon. Mega Man Legends is the only Mega Man game I ever actually played. I like Tron Bon as a character. I just wasn't super high on that, on the caw, I guess. I guess I just wasn't super high on, I don't think Tron Bon is a character you can replicate in the game that well, because she's got, a very distinctive look. I put Brock in there because he'd been around forever and he was kind of a jobber. Pepsi Man was in a similar position, yeah, I wish I'd kept him, but I kind of felt like I'd hit the limit of what I could do with him. I should have brought him back. Oh, I saw one of these in here that I wanted to look at. Happy with how Travis was received, yeah. Everyone I always knew Travis was over. How do I feel about Eddie winning that Rumble? It was rad. It was awesome. Eddie being in the Rumble was me planning. That was his return. He was gonna stick around, but, he won the Rumble, and then he wound up becoming a fucking gigantic main event star. And it was great. Sub-Zero. Also, yes, I wish I'd kept Sub-Zero. I should have remade Sub-Zero's moveset and fixed him and made him good, because he had a look, and he had an entrance and music, and that's really all you need. I let Sub-Zero down. Bubsy was always a true face of EDBW. Was Vegeta the first choice for Snake's tag partner? Yes, because the feud is Vegeta and Barkley. At one point, oh man, like at one point I had an idea to, I was like planning out a slightly longer season, I had an idea of doing Vegeta Barkley earlier. I had this fucking idea of like, if I'm doing a kind of long season, like what if I just do an episode full of like EDBW versus VGCW matches? Because I had a fair amount of VGCW guys and I could have put that together. And that show would have had Vegeta versus Barkley on it, and then Solid versus Liquid would have happened at the finale. That's something I would have done if I had made a longer season, but I didn't because I did not want to. Thoughts on Kinsey? Kinsey is perfect, and I would not change a single thing about Kinsey's career. Yeah, that would have been a fun thing to do, collaborative, but I liked the idea of I could have just done it after you had already quit, and I thought, like, this would be cool, because the show's over, and a few of these guys can kind of pop up and do, I can bring together some characters. Actually, hold up. The Curly match would have gone differently. That's maybe the one thing I would have changed. I think I have this card written down. I'll tell you, okay. These matches were obviously a little bit contingent on who I had. They were Geralt versus Ezio, Bowser and Bowser Jr. versus Gary and Professor Oak, Nappa versus Big the Cat, and I have this noted as a ring break match, because I was going to try to rig it so they could only end it by a ring break. Deadly Prosecution versus Super Mario Brothers, Lich King versus Illidan, Kanji and Naoto versus Phoenix and Trucy, and Vegeta versus Barkley. Those were the matches I wrote down. I would have liked to have done them, but I fucking couldn't squeeze in this episode into this. I wanted to get to the end faster. It would have been a rad episode if I had done it. I didn't do it. Did I plan on Sans being a single star? Not really. I planned for him to fight Monokuma. That was always like, I knew that was the end game for that season was, oh, you're going to have a bad time, Megalovania, Sans Monokuma, but he was never planned. I never really wanted to give him a singles push. It would have been a great show if I'd done it, but I didn't do it. So I'm just going to tease you with that as something that could have been a dark episode. At one point, when I was planning the end, I was thinking like, well, maybe I'll sometimes just do a thing just to do it, but no, I'm not going to do it ever. I'm never going to make anything else. When and why did... Oh, no. I planned for Sans to fight Monokuma at, like, Killscreen 5. That was the plan for the first Monokuma match, was for Sans to beat him. And then, on this show, Monokuma was fucking way more powerful, so it had to be someone way more powerful than Sans. Who did I enjoy writing for the most? Gino and Ulala. They were my favorite characters to write. I loved them. They had nothing to do with their source material, but they were so much fun. They were so funny and so great to write. I loved them. Also, Strong Bad was great. Sam and Max. I liked writing The King of All Cosmos. I liked writing Papyrus and Sans. I didn't like the work that had to be done to, get in the fucking fonts and noises for Papyrus and Sans. That was kind of a pain in the ass. But I liked writing their jokes. I liked writing Big the Cat. He was fun. Because everything was just very simple with him. The count out for the live show was fucking... That was the best. That was the best thing that could possibly have happened on the live show. I'm extremely happy it came. I'm extremely happy that came about. Text scrolling down. Ooh, wait, no, this is a good one. Versus NXT matches. Oh, there were a bunch of them. I downloaded a bunch of NXT guys onto my third account, thinking like, I'll eventually use these guys in matches. And then like all of them got called up like 4 months later. There were a few early plans. Oh, I almost did Asura versus Kevin Owens. I guess I cut it for time to free up space on an episode. I really wish I hadn't. Charles Barkley versus Tyson Kidd as a slumming it in developmental match. I would have liked to do that. I was going to do Cynthia and Sasha Banks at one point because Pokemon Bank was the best joke I could come up with. But they did a better Sasha Banks joke in WV down the line, so that was fine. Eddie Riggs and Finn Balor was an idea. Who else did I have? Oh, yeah, I had like, who'd I have? I had like American Alpha and the Vaudevillains and Dana Brooke and Apollo Crews saved on that account, and then all of them went to the main roster. So I didn't do that. Anything with Asuka? I almost aired a Kerrigan versus Asuka match that was recorded in 14, and I was going to call it Such is the Power of Cockroach, because I didn't have any characters that were amiibos, so I couldn't call the match my amiibos. Then it got cut for time, and I did it in that 2K17 hardcore match instead. I think Apollo Crews was going to fight Rex. I also, like, towards the end, I was making all those calls, which is part of why I didn't use any women, because all of their attires are way crazier. I actually, like, the only other big decision I made was, like, when I did the Ty Dillinger match, I was considering doing the revival, but I would have had to make 2 guys, so because I knew, like, they were both going up to the main roster very soon. So I decided on Ty. I really only had time to do one. When did I decide to do a serious plot with Lucas? I mean, Kill Screen 4. Like, and immediately as I had plot, it's like, the first thing I want to do is Lucas versus Ness. And, you know, down the line, there was going to be a payoff to that. I guess it wasn't always planned for, like, the fucking Masked Man thing, but I think I always knew, like, there was going to be a big payoff to Lucas's character arc. Which actually kind of just happened by chance, because I made a Joker and then realized, oh shit, stealing his heart is the perfect out for this. The Pebble was brought up. I don't know where the Pebble was first mentioned. I love the Pebble. My favorite title holder of each respective championship? Huh. I'm not sure. That's a good question. Oh, no. You know who my favorite EDBW champion is? Is First Reign Liquid Snake. Also, shit, yeah, Liquid Snake on my list of favorite guys to write. He was the fucking anchor when I was starting plot, and he was always great. And he had great matches, and I had a lot of fun writing him. Fucking Liquid was the perfect champion. He is my favorite EDBW champion ever. My favorite women's champion? I mean, Lucina is the right choice. Tag champs, fucking Sam and Max. And the trios champs, there were 3 of them, like it's Magic True. Those are the best champions. Most of them are the first ones, except for Liquid, who is the best EDBW champion ever. Fucking Liquid Snake Demon Eddie is maybe the best match we ever had. Intended for the male side of the show to be more wacky and comedic than the women's. I think that just kind of happened. Maybe because, like, I don't know if there are as many, like, wacky female characters out there for me to hire, or at least, like, not as many that I'm, like, aware of. So the roster just kind of wound up shaping up the way it did. You know, maybe it probably should have been a little more funny, I guess, but that's just not how it wound up taking shape. My favorite hardcore match. That's a fucking tough call. I can't remember all of them, so I do not know. Undyne, yeah, Undyne's one of the wackier women I wound up having. Goomba mode, best TH quality, 2 quality. No, the best one was Curly mode, because Curly mode got fan art. And that was, like, the first fan art I got, and it was a fucking it was a very big moment for me, personally. Was that there was fan art coming off of my show. Oh, no shit, yeah, you're right. The best one was Magfest, where I awkwardly put that dude in a full Nelson. In retrospect, I should have put him in an armbar or some shit that required less body-on-body contact, but you know, things happen. Bad decisions get made. Where else was it? Yeah, I just gave my phone to Toe and told him, tape this, I need to do this. I'm going to put aside all of my fucking humiliation because this needs to get done. Do I think Jinx got called up too soon? No, she was crazy over. And, like, her going up was correct. My favorite hardcore champion? Who was good? I mean, there's, you know, Strong Bad, definitely. I need to look at the fucking list. Hold on a second while I open up my fucking wiki page so I can refer to that. I seem to enjoy wacky comedic points where there are serious plots I thought of that didn't feel like they would work well. I mean, there are things that I kind of toned down. Like the Flint Lucas thing and WRESMANIA was toned down a little bit because I didn't want to go too far in. Because I was a little concerned that people just weren't going to care that much about these characters. And I didn't want to get too emotional and serious. Oh, god damn it, the hardcore title history isn't on this page anymore. Fucking, here it is. Okay, who's my favorite hardcore champion? Jeff Gerstmann. That's right, Jeff is the greatest hardcore champion ever. He's the only one who held it in 2 different places. Anyone I wanted to write for? I mean, I got to write for most everyone. Except for, like, I guess people who went up early. I would have liked to have written Dante. You know, I always liked him. I liked writing him in my indie. Which I can just bring up. He's a fun character who I liked. I would like to have been able to do more with Kanji, because he's, you know, he was my favorite. I'm just looking at this list of call-ups. Who would I have liked to write? I didn't get to do anything plot-wise with Kinsey. That might have been fun. Toe Jam and Earl. Fucking, hey, if you want to look up my indie, go to YouTube and search for the channel Championship Res. It's all there. A lot of it is very good. Anyway, let me quick look at this list. I think, how long have I been doing this? I don't think it says, but I might wind this down at some point. Although if the questions keep going. If we get more good questions, fuck the courtroom scene. Yes, if you recall the court scene in VGCW that one time with fucking Gary and Vegeta, I did that first. I invented the fucking concept of that, and eventually Cran asked me, hey, how'd you do this thing? And he did it. But yes, the courtroom scene, I invented it. It was a lot of work. It was extremely difficult. My favorite pre-show remix? Fuck, that's a good question. I mean, it's one of the Neilsis tracks. It might be Bustin'. It might just be Bustin'. Bustin's extremely good. Cran's a dirty thief. No, Cran's cool. I don't have a problem with Cran doing it. I just thought it was really funny. My favorite plot scene. Okay. Probably one of the really early ones, because I think in the early days of plot, I did a lot more, like, it was a little wackier, I guess. I was a little more experimental, because I was just having fun being able to do it for that audience. What's my favorite meme? Doge, EDBW Superstar Doge. Fuck, my favorite plot is kind of hard. I mean, maybe Triple H's promo from this past episode. Some of the stuff from Time Rock I liked a lot. Fucking... Oh, you know what? So, the Sam and Max Team Bean Machine stuff was always really funny. I liked their plots. Grandma wasn't a meme. She was an indie character. God. Oh, yes. If you remember, the context behind the Doge thing was there was this one week where they had Grumpy Cat on Raw, and they advertised it as, on Raw next week, Grumpy Cat, so I made a fucking duplicate of that picture. It said EDBW on EDBW Doge, and then he showed up in that fucking pre-show thing. And then I brought him back for the Rumble, thinking like, oh, it's in context because he was the host that one time. But all anyone realized was, oh, you just put a meme in your Rumble. And in retrospect, I should not have. Ooh, pay-per-view attires I should have made. I mean, okay, specific to this show, I wish I had made Gat Out of Hell Johnny Gat. That was the plan. I didn't get to it. It would have been nice. My favorite custom loading screen, Johnny Cage, the one that's GIF. It's extremely good. Or just King mode. That one's great. Fucking sync moments, I'm not sure. God, there must be other pay-per-view attires I would have liked to have made. But I can't think of any right now. Oh, you know what? No, you know what is a pay-per-view attire I would have liked to have used? It's Esper Barkley, which is a fucking long-running joke that I had. I think I started that joke with Doom, where the joke was that Barkley taught Tara the Chaos Dunk, and in exchange she taught him Esper form. In a very early idea for like the final battle in EDBW, the idea was I'll use Esper Barkley for it. It didn't last too long because it didn't make sense. I wish I'd been able to do that. That would have been nice. Do I have a pic of... I have a pic of Esper Barkley somewhere. I don't fucking know. I don't want to turn on the game again. He just looked... It was just like naked Barkley, but purple. Any match type I could never get a satisfactory match out of. I mean, last man standings were always kind of shitty. Those were hard to do. I could never get anyone to climb the cell. That would have been nice. Fucking, yeah, those come to mind. Inferno matches were kind of iffy, but I was able to get some good ones of those. You did not almost have Esper Barkley. It was a very early idea. No actual work went into Esper Barkley on this show. He was going to be on my indie if I'd finished it, but I had to end it because I was suddenly doing plot in this show. Esper Barkley versus Super Saiyan Vegeta. Maybe someday, maybe in like 2K18, I'll make Esper Barkley. And he can fight fucking Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. I might do something with 2K18 when that's out. I might stream it in some capacity. Because I have 2K17 on the Xbox, so I don't have any of this cause. I don't have access to the causes of everyone else, but the next game I'll have on the PlayStation, so I might do stuff in there. Memorable matches, Liquid Eddie at Killscreen is like one of my best. You know, Demo, Edgeworth, like there's a lot of really great ones that we did at various points. Killscreen 6, the fucking men's main event. Oh shit, also Killscreen 4, the first Ellie versus Clementine match is one of my favorite one-on-one Extreme Rules matches that I ever did. I'm very glad Vegeta's not dead. Favorite match? I guess my favorite match no one talks about would be that first Ellie Clementine match. I really liked that. It had the fucking skull-crushing finale onto the corner of the steps, which was fucking brutal. Let me think. 40-minute. Okay, I'm gonna look at my list of notes. Was there anything else important here I didn't do? That I didn't bring up? I kind of hit all of it. Oh, fucking strong bad. Oh yeah, the strong bad jump. So I gave strong bad the Superfly splash as his other finisher in that match, so he could do the looks like I'm gonna have to jump, and he went for it. He didn't hit it, but I at least got that moment. I got to use that clip. Hey, the fucking. I was gonna bring up this fucking fun story that came up super early on, like after. This is fucking weird. After the first episode of EDBW aired, Baza messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm probably quitting soon. Do you want to take over VGCW?" And I basically said, yeah, sure, okay. And I never heard about it again. And he just kept doing the show for a while, and then Toe got it. And it was just a weird moment in a weird immediate aftermath of the first time ever. Suddenly, I had that idea. It never came about. My VGCW would have been weird. But the right choice was made. I would have been the wrong choice to take that show. I could not stick to that schedule. From the other VGCW shows, like the first season I really watched was WrestleMania, so that endgame. The fucking 3v3 Drac Pack versus Vamp Hound match. Oh yeah, Toe almost ran WV, god. Well, okay. I'll briefly talk about this. I remember the one idea I had, like, early on was, like, I want to immediately fuck things up in a weird way and shake things up. So my idea was I was going to give Ganondorf a career-ending injury and write him off the show. Like, I wanted to do, I'm going to bring in the fucking Fierce Steedy, and I'm going to do this angle, and it's going to end with Ganondorf is just gone. And everything's fucking different now, and you have to keep your fucking eyes open. That's what I would have done. That was like the most concrete idea I had for what I would do with VGCW, was just fuck things up and immediately get rid of Ganondorf in a weird way. But it didn't happen, and he wound up winning all the belts at the very end, so for the best, I guess. I did like the idea of, what if there's just an injury? What if someone's career just fucking ends out of nowhere like it can in actual wrestling? I thought that would be neat. What about the anyone I wish they called up but didn't? I mean, at this point, you know, they could theoretically call up people from this show. I would have liked to. I would never have hired Zubaz. I would like there's a few people on my show who I'd kind of like to see move on to WV in the future in 2K17. So, you know, if you have any EDBW favorites, go make those calls and pitch them to Naughty so he can shoot them all down. It's like I had a couple people I wanted to look at, like Shepard's one of them, because I think her character's in a really interesting spot now. I would have, like, you could do a lot with her, because she's got a history, but she's technically not the same person. Doom, you don't post in the fucking character submission thread, so you're not going to be the one who shoots them down. Undyne. I think Undyne, absolutely. I would love to see her move up, if only because there aren't any Undertale characters anywhere else at this point, since my show's gone, and I think she'd be a great addition. Do you post in that thread? I haven't seen your shit. I've only seen Naughty's post. I don't read the thread very closely. That's on me. I know Alice is in there, and I know she's kind of been shot down. I'd like to see Ellie or Clementine pop up. Or, like, Black Tier Underground could just show up as a trio. That could be cool. Yeah, you could bring up Kerrigan. I don't think you need to, because I think like her career ending at this point would be a fine end. I'd like to see like the Magic Troop or Cops gimmicks live on. Like I don't think those trios need the exact same three people, but I would like to see them used. I guess I think the Magic, although they don't have the fucking. That's right, they don't have the Tukul Rikishi entrance in the new game, so not Magic Troop, but Cops is a good gimmick that you could use with literally anyone. I'd like to see that. Male characters I'd like to see called up to WV? Huh. I'm not sure. Actually, you know what was a fucking early thing that like Bryn mentioned to me a couple times ago, or ages ago at this point, was the idea of bringing up Ophelia with Eddie as her manager. Because I think like early on, back when Ophelia's entrance had Mr. Crowley as the theme, before copyright killed that, like he said to me once that he had thought about calling her up just because her entrance was so good. There could have been that. Princess Elise, sure. No, not Princess Elise. She was perfect in EDBW. Oh shit, no, actually, okay, here's someone I would love to see move up to the WV. I would like to see Jean go up and tag with Bayonetta. Because Bayo's pretty much had a lot of failed runs at the main event title, and I'd kind of like to see her move into a tag team like that. That would be an interesting direction to take her character in. That would be very cool, and I would like to see that happen. Wait. What call do I regret not downloading the most? There were a few guys. Let me quick open up my fucking notes. Did I write anyone down who I should have saved? There were a couple people, like, from my indie that I kind of wish I'd saved. Like, I had a call of Isabella from Dragon Age 2, who I thought looked really neat. Because, like, I took a call that was posted on the forums and then cleaned it up and put a bunch of custom logos on it. It was a really good call, and I kind of wish I'd kept it. Other than that, like, I don't know, some guys I wish I had kept around. Did I expect... I knew I was going to bring back Elise every so often, but I was being very slow about it early on, because I was trying to be very careful about the potential backlash. I don't give a shit. I'm going to talk about indies now. My show's over. I don't care anymore. Let me see. What else you got? Favorite and least favorite. I mean, my favorites are... I've posted my favorites on the fucking board at some point. I don't watch enough BWA to have an opinion, I don't think. No offense meant, I just don't think it's not really a show for me. WV, who's my favorite in WV? Probably still Chie. Maybe Lucina. I like Lucina a lot. One of those two. Adachi and Dojima, yeah, that would have been fucking cool. Those were some of my favorite guys from that show. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can, like, recall specific scenes from other shows at this point. Oh, El Joven Policia, such a good gimmick. I think at one point I entertained the idea of bringing in Adachi as El Joven Policia as part of the fucking Cerberus thing. I thought, like, wouldn't that be neat? I bet I could do that. I didn't get to it. I didn't. It was probably the right decision not to do it. It's probably time to start winding this down. My favorite and least favorite season? I don't know. Like, my early seasons were very different from my later seasons. And I think, like, a lot of my later seasons are, like, kind of had specific goals, I guess. It's hard to, like, cite... You know, season 4... Like, yeah, the season 4 might have been one of the best, just because it had, you know, the early plot stuff and was really good. Season 5 probably wasn't as good, but I had, like, a specific goal with that season where I really wanted to do, like, the season-long arc that culminates at the pay-per-view. And I think I did that fairly well. I'm pretty happy with how Season 5 worked out, even if it was not as good as Killscreen 4, because what could be? Was I surprised at Princess Elise being popular? Sort of. Turning her babyface was just kind of a fucking... It just kind of happened because I needed a partner for the King of All Cosmos against the Superstars, and I eventually realized that Elise fit perfectly, so it made sense to turn her babyface against Ulala, and it fucking worked. I was kind of surprised at how well it worked, and people started to really like her. That's maybe my biggest fucking achievement in turning people babyface. I wanted to do more in the future. Like, there was a part of me that, like, always really wanted to like, try the challenge of turning Morrigan full-on babyface. If there had been, like, a longer 7th season, I probably would have actually done that. Oh, I know, Beaumont. I know, we're friends. You're cool. Who did I not expect to like, but came to really enjoy as the show went on? Huh. That's a good question. I mean, I didn't plan that much for Liquid. He just kind of wound up working out very well. I liked him a whole lot. I liked Shovel Knight once I started writing him a lot more than I expected to. He was a lot of fun to write in the early days when he was just hanging around Arthas. Oghren. I remember Oghren. Oghren got a bad rap. I knew him when he showed up. I like Dragon Age. He was the wrong character from Dragon Age to hire. The right character from Dragon Age to hire first off the bat was, ironically enough, Morrigan. My favorite random thing picker tag team. Fucking probably ask me about Boom. That was an extremely good tag team. Maybe Homestar Heroes. They were all extremely good. Should have hired Sten. Yeah, but do I give him horns or not? That's the question about Sten. At one point, I thought I really would have liked to have made Iron Bull, but you can't make those crazy fucking horns, and he would not have looked right. Which is a shame, because Iron Bull fucking ruled. Okay, there's a lot of Persona and Danganronpa influence, which is my favorite. I mean, Persona is my favorite. Like, Danganronpa kind of was not intended to be such a big deal, but, like, I played it not that long before I started doing plot, so I knew, like, I have to do a Teddy and Monokuma thing. They should be the co-general managers. And then it just kind of spun off from there into, well, the natural fucking progression is Monokuma is the final boss. So Danganronpa became a very big deal, probably bigger than I'd, like, really expected it to super be. But it's cool, because I like Danganronpa well enough. When they finally put out that 3rd game, I'll play it. We never got any Arthas Jaina plot. Yeah, I maybe should have done more with that. It would have been nice, but, like, I kind of got too caught up in long arcs after, you know, Season 4. Given enough time, it would have been eventually. Dang. Yeah, maybe. For example, what? Oh, hold up. Are you defining indies? I guess that is what indies are, Tristar. Not getting the joke? The joke is that indies are the shows that we would run that weren't official VGCW things. I did one of those before I got this show, and for a period during this show, it's part of why I got the developmental gig. Who did I think would be the final two? Yeah, I would have done a plot scene if it was Ellie and Clem. They would have talked in the ring. Any other... Who else would have been good in there? Let me open up this tournament bracket. I mean, we kind of got what I was after. If Grounder had made it to the end, that would have been cool. I don't know. I didn't have any... Like, I think Strongbad was one of the guys I did want to go a long way, so I'm happy that worked out. And I'm happy that the woman who made it all the way in wasn't too difficult to recreate. Because that was the big fucking risk, is I was going to have to redo one of the women at the very end. And Undyne wasn't super hard to make again. Fortunately. Arthas and Jaina would have been a good final two, except I would have had to make Jaina Proudmoore again, and that would have been fucking a nightmare. Oh my god, making that call a second time. Christ. Oh no, everyone's just plugging their indies. Everyone, fucking Championship Wrest on YouTube, watch the post-reboot EDBW. It's just under the Indie DBW playlist. It's all extremely good. It's maybe the best shit I ever did, and I never finished it. Jaina would have been a nightmare to remake. Kerrigan would have been... If Kerrigan had made it to the finals, she would have looked really dumb. She would have been, like, simple shit. It would have been a fucking nightmare. Although, whatever, I don't think she was ever going to make it that far to the end. It would have been fucking impossible. Yeah, like, a lot of the women in there would have been doable. Like, if Ellie had made it to the end, I could have done it. I could have remade Ellie easily if she'd made it all the way to the end. Fucking... I wish I had a fucking timer here that showed how long this has been going. How long has this been going? Does anyone know what time we're at? No explanation, just humaning. And yes, that is what I would have had to do for Kerrigan, is she's just a person now for no reason. 50 minutes. Okay, we can do this for a little longer. Hasn't even quite been an hour. I don't know, man. Those are the big ones. We're winding down. What made me decide to turn the hardcore from men to women, I was getting nagged about it a lot, about how I wasn't doing enough with the women's division, which I got a lot in the early days, so I gave them the hardcore title. Seemed like a fun thing to do. And then I immediately fucking put it back on myself and had to vacate it because fucking everything's stupid. Although I think that actually might just have been because Idea refused to win the hardcore title match I put her in. So Robin held onto the fucking belt. Do I want to play games on stream later? Maybe not. I don't think I'm great on stream. Also don't think I'm great on games. I probably won't do a lot of video game streaming in the future. I'll pop in for fucking Bubsy because it's important. What video game universes would I have liked to incorporate into the show? I'm trying to think. I don't know. There were some characters I wish I'd hired who I didn't. I'm not sure universes. It's an interesting question. I'll stream Bubsy when the new one comes out in a couple months. Or maybe I'll stream all the old Bubsies again, because there is new content in the Arcane Kids Bubsy 3D, so I'll have to stream that. We'll do a new Bubsy Power Hour at some point. If I'd been able to do plot from the start of the show, fuck, man. It would have been weird. I honestly don't know. What would have been my plans? Oh, the very first match was Brock and Bubsy. Looking back on it, it was the perfect start. I knew that was the right start, because I have to send out Bubsy immediately so everyone knows how fucked up this is, and then send out Brock because people will like him. And they had a pretty fun ladder match. And this is fucking my favorite thing, is something I've known for a while that had to happen at the end. I knew Bubsy had to be at the very end of EDBW, because he was in the first match, and he was in the last match. Bubsy is the alpha and omega of EDBW. A character I wish... There were a couple calls I wanted to make. I had left spaces open for it was Prince of Persia and Jimmy Hopkins from Bully were the two guys, so I'll just write down these names because I need two guys here and I would like to make these guys and use them, and I never did. The B in EDBW stands for Bubsy. Yes. That's okay, this is actually a good bit. That's one of my fucking regrets. I wish I had not put my name in the title. Because fucking, in retrospect, it's kind of dumb, and B, once I started doing plot, it made no sense. Because there was no Dudebro in the universe. I wish I'd called it something like some sort of video game thing. Fucking, it should not... I don't know. But when I did my show that was not VGCW, it had my name in it because that was just how you did it. And then I just kind of kept the brand. In retrospect, I wish I'd given it a different name. That would have made sense. Would we have seen the rest of Phantom Thieves? No, not really. Joker was kind of a last-minute decision. It's I want to make this guy. And then realizing, oh shit, he's got a perfect plot use. I probably wasn't going to bring in any more Persona 5 people. Yes, the Doge from Area 51 was me all along. That is my character in this universe, is the dog controlling everything from under Area 51 with PS3. Alright, let me see. And then that's what the show's named. Oh yeah, maybe it was named after that dog. That would make... Yeah, that explains pretty much everything. Did I have any ideas for the final plot before? I think some of the early ideas was I wanted to use... one of the early ideas was to use Ness more, but actually I think one of them was I was going to use Raz for that, and it was going to be more Psychonaut style, if he was going to go in Lucas's mind. But I wasn't really sure if, I don't know. I don't think I loved that, because I feel like that probably wouldn't have, been visually interesting in the way that it is in Psychonauts. And it made more sense in the Persona 5 fashion, and it was more timely. What happens to the PS3 when people get promoted? How do you know the dog isn't controlling all the shows from that PS3? Think about it. Anyone I got called up who I wanted to use more? Like, I talked about this a little bit. Like, there's some people who I would have liked to have written. Like, you know, Dante would have been fun to write. I would have liked to have been able to do more stuff with, like, maybe Jinx. You know, Kanji, the Rogues. I didn't get enough of them, I guess. But that's mostly just because I'm kind of sad about how the Rogues turned out in VGCW. Thanks, Fitz, for getting Pop-Tarts to make Raz. I'm sorry I didn't bring him back sooner. Who else would I have wanted to use more? I don't know. I generally feel fine about all the call-ups. Like, you know, it makes sense. Some of them didn't work out the way I wanted them to, but, you know, you can't have everything. I should not have hired Mother Brain. I'm okay with having never hired Mother Brain. I agree. I wish your call-ups had one more toe, you fucking asshole. Kanji won all of his matches before you took over the show, and then he lost all of his matches. I wonder whose fault that is. He ruined everything. Fucking Dante. Kanji and Dante, I'll forever hold this against you. For your bad PS3. And Baz's good PS3. My favorite theme. Fucking King of all Cosmos. It's a good answer. Sub-Zero, historically. Who saw Doggy and went crazy? Fucking who knows? It's up in the air. I don't need to specify that, partially because I don't know or care. Favorite entrance, maybe also King of all Cosmos. Strong Bad, great entrance on him. Looking at this list real fast. Bowser Jr. has a great entrance. Princess Elise has a great entrance. Johnny Cage had a great entrance. Everyone knows that. Oh, yes, the Liquid, the first time Liquid came out to Sins of the Father with that Miz title entrance. That's probably the best entrance that there ever was. And Magic Troop. Also, all good. I'm actually fucking getting, my fucking throat is getting worn out because I've just been talking for the last hour. Which doesn't often happen for me. I'm going to drink a little bit of this water and then see if any more interesting questions pop up, and if not, I'm going to start wrapping this up. And I mean it this time. Excuse me. My apologies, King Alt, for making you record all of this, but if it makes you feel any better, you'll never have to do it for me again. Hope you all enjoyed my drink sound effects. I'm going to quick look at those notes I wrote down. When's Oh, that's right. I got to go watch BoJack. I can't wait to go watch BoJack Horseman. No, this is the final question. Did I have fun? Overall, yes. Yes, I had fun doing this. There were times when it was not fun. There were times when it was just work and when it was frustrating. But generally speaking, I had a pretty good time. I kind of wish I'd ended it sooner. I wish we'd done this like 6 months ago, maybe? But it was fun, and I'm glad that it was fun. And thank you all for joining me. I hope you all had fun. This has been EDBW. This is a series wrap. Stay tuned for all kinds of other great VGCW programming in the future. Follow my Twitter. I'll be around there. Making bad tweets. Maybe you'll see me pop up in something else down the line. I don't know. And I guess, really, if you think about it, the real Extreme Dudebro Wrestling was friendship. Goodbye.